I'm just trying to understand, right? What's the big deal about Surf being a snitch? He snitched. Simple as that. Plain out, simple as that. If I show Surf paperwork to 10 out of 10 people on the streets, they're going to say he snitched. You know what I'm going to do? This is going to be funny too. I'm going to bring my brothers and them in here. Two of my brothers just got out of the feds. Both of them were the leaders of the GDs, right? Where we were from. They both were the leader of the GDs. They just got out of jail. One of my brother did 25 years straight. Y'all saw him. He did 25 years straight. Okay? He had life without parole. He's supposed to die in prison. Okay? But he got out. Donald Trump, ended up getting him out. So he got out on the Donald Trump situation. So that got him out. So my other brother, he did 15 years straight. So both of them is out now. I'm going to bring my brother in here. I'm going to bring my brother in here. Because he had 45 witnesses against him, people testifying against him, and statements like Surf gave, and they testified against him personally. Okay? So he don't know nothing about battle rap at all. He really don't know nothing about battle rap at all. I'm going to bring him in here live, right? No, we ain't going to even do it live. I'm going to do a blog because I don't want him distracted by nothing. He ain't going to even know. I'm going to pull up the transcripts on Surf. I'm going to read it. I want y'all to see his reaction too. I'm going to read it to him. He going to see it before his eyes. I wonder what he going to say. Okay? Because this is starting to get ridiculous. The selective and being selective on who to put. Listen, man. Surf snitched. Okay? Anytime you is standing before the courts and you're saying, we did this, when you speaking in the plural of others and they're not there, neither did they take any pleas. They still fighting their cases. And you speaking as a representative as of them on their behalf. Because that's what that means when he's saying we did this, we did that. When they actually asking him and the people that's on this indictment with him. And he's saying, yes, we did that. Yes, we did this. You snitched, man. Okay? We ain't finna play these games, man. It is what it is. But I already knew people were going to try to make excuses for him because it's popularity. That's how it goes. They like you, they're going to fight for you. You know what I mean? Even if people feel like, however they want to deceive themselves into believing. If this was not the internet and we were just regular dudes off the internet, just on the block, reading transcripts, we're going to say 10 out of 10, yeah, he snitched. That nigga snitched. We're going to say that. But, this is just a prime example of what I already knew. I knew this. This is the preparing for his homecoming. This is the preparing of his homecoming. But I like this. See, I like truth. Battle truth. Get around these truths. Question. Can Surf statement be used? Can his testimony be used that he gave pertaining to his plea deal? He's going to answer right here. Yeah, I like facts. Yes. Plea deal testimony can be used to build cases against others, although it is genuinely inadmissible against the person who made the plea. Don't get that misconstrued. It won't be used against him because he's agreeing to the plea as a result of whatever deal was made on his behalf. Did Surf get a deal? Yep. So out of the 4 cases he was charged with, they only charged him. No, he had 6 or 4. I forgot. Keep forgetting which one. He had 6 or 4 charges against him, and they only charged him with 2. They didn't even charge him with the RICO. That was one of the biggest ones. They knocked that off. They gave him the 2 lesser charges. Why would they do him that favor? Why would they do him that favor? Why do him a favor? So he had 6 charges against him. They only charged him with 2 that were part of the plea deal. But why did they do that for him? Because he had a good lawyer? Why did they do that for him? They didn't have enough evidence against him when they showing his Instagram and text messages and confessions out of his own mouth that he made. Why did they do all that for him? Why? Okay. Now, if his testimony could be used, he snitched. It don't matter if they use it or not. They can if they want to. But they did. They did. They used those testimonies. That's the purpose of them. That's the purpose of it being part of the plea. It was also used in the court to establish the RICO by which the other people were charged with. His testimony. So not only do they have the documentation, now they have the human body. See, that's the thing people keep on missing. It ain't only the documentation now. Now you have the physical body presence of confession that substantiates and confirms the paperwork. When you look at the paperwork, how I thought they first presented the paperwork. Then the court's like, okay, we received the paperwork. Now, where's the witness to substantiate and confirm the paperwork? They say, we now call Ray John Cox to the stand. Now you got the man himself, who's a part of the RICO and gang by which they just presented to the courts. You see how effective that is? That you don't now only have documentation, but now you have representation. Ah, man, I wear this well. I'm trying to tell you. Yes. And the purpose of the testimony is to apply pressure to the other co-defendants and co-conspirators who have yet to take a plea, or decide to go to trial. Now you add even more pressure, because now he spoke on behalf of y'all saying, yes, he knowingly, intentionally knew of the dealings of the gang and enterprise and criminal actions y'all did. And he's speaking as one of the leaders. So anytime he's speaking as we and us and our and members, associates, all these plural words that adds to others, you told, you snitched. Ain't no way to get around that. And your testimony is documented to be used at the court's discretion against anyone they can that's affiliated with the indictment or RICO, which led also to other information given to the California indictment that came after, when the Rolling 60 got hit back then, from what was being said on the New Jersey indictment. Yeah. He snitched. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? That's not hard. Common sense. Anytime you see a man in the courtroom saying we and us and our and they, associates, members, enterprises, gangs, and you saying, yes, that's us. Yes, that's us. Yes, we did that. Yes, we did. Okay, you snitch. You're snitching. You're telling. None of the defendants ain't there. You in there by yourself. Your other co-defendants ain't in there. You in there all by yourself. Then the documentations go on and say that now he's going to tell the whole story. They want the whole story. So he first went in to take a plea to give a summary of the story. Then after the plea agreement, then he got to tell the whole story to the PSA. You got to tell the whole story. And it says of others. So you have to tell the whole story about them also. And everything that's documented is now available to be used at the court's discretion. But let's go back more into the plea testimony he did. Look what it says here. It says, I typed it up because I already know the truth, but I just want y'all to see this. Can a plea deal testimony be used to build cases and convict others? Look what it says. Yes, plea deal testimony can be used to build cases against others, though it is genuinely inadmissible against the person who made the plea. Plea agreements often include a condition that the defendant testify against co-conspirators, and this testimony can be used by the prosecution to build the case and convict others. Now, here's the thing. In people's ignorance of trying to give Surf a pass, they'll say, he didn't tell on nobody. He didn't mention nobody's name. He didn't have to mention the name. He agreed that the organization that he was under, by which the other people are being tried with him, committed these crimes. So he don't have to say their name when it is in whole about everybody who's named in the indictment. That's why they ask him about the rolling 60s as a whole of everybody that's on the conviction. So in y'all ignorance, y'all trying to overlook, since you ain't seeing Reggie or Timmy or Mike or Jason, that, oh, he didn't tell on nobody. Yes, he did. Because when they asking him about the rolling 60s in New Jersey and the exact location where they've been operating at, by which that indictment was actually how they got all of them, he is telling on them. And they made that clear. He is telling on them. Because it's a rolling 60s indictment. And when he speaks on behalf of the rolling 60s, he's telling on them. Them. That's under that indictment. Now, so notice what it said. Yes, this testimony can be used to build cases on others. So it can be used. It can be used by the prosecution to build a case and conviction others. Even if the original plea is protected from being used against the defendant. So even though it's used to protect the defendant, but it still can be used against the others, even though it only protects the defendant who made it. See that? So that's clear. So if Surf's testimony can be used, which it can, he snitched. And you can bet they did use it because they were part of the plea deal. Watch this. How plea deal testimony is used against others. See? Yeah, we gonna show how his plea deal, his testimony, we did that, we, us, our members, associates, gang, that was us. Let me show you how that could be used also more. Condition of a plea deal. Watch this. A prosecutor may require a defendant to testify against others in exchange for a deal, right? Let's say building the case. How is it used to build the case? This testimony, the testimony Surf gave, can be a key piece of evidence in building a case against a co-conspirator or other defendants. See how it now can be used to build cases? Because even though they may be already under the indictment, with what he say can add on to the pressure of conviction. Watch this. Prosecutor's use. While the plea itself is often inadmissible against the person who made it, the resulting testimony can be offered against other parties. See? Though Surf may be protected of it because that's part of the deal, but the others not. The others not. Watch this. A credibility challenge. Defense attorney can challenge the credibility of a plea bargaining testimony because it may be influenced by the witness's desire for a lighter sentence or to shift blame. So they could challenge the testimony if they're not satisfied or happy with it based upon them believing that he just want a lighter sentence or trying to shift the blame on somebody else if they not actually, you know what I mean, happy with it or not. So that right there just showing you that the only person for the most part who protected from the plea deal is the one who actually made it himself. And that could even be challenged if they not satisfied with what he said, believing that he only trying to shift the blame on somebody else and not taking full accountability. So they can even challenge that if they wanted to. But according to this, the plea deal only protects the defendant to a certain degree. But anybody who's not the defendant that's making it, the plea deal can be used against them. So since Surf was the first one to take the plea, his statement was used against also the others. So therefore, they can go in there and say, "Oh, we know y'all did this. We know this. We know that. We already got Surf statements saying admitting to his wrong and what he did in the gang. So y'all had knowledgeable awareness of this. You know how this go. You know how this go. We ain't gonna play these games. That's clear. That's clear. So if his testimony can be used against others, he snitched. That's what we clearly see. So when people be like, they can't use his testimony against them, that ain't what the truth say. Say they can. That's the whole purpose of why they get it. Why get something I can't use? I need the plea because I'm finna use it. That's why I would call a superseding indictment. What that means? It's an ongoing indictment. The more testimony we get, the more we can build on it. So they hit New Jersey, then they hit California next. They hit New Jersey, then California next. We ain't gonna play these games. It's a superseding indictment. Ongoing investigation. We get more and more and more and more information, building more and more and more cases to do another indictment. We ain't gonna play no games. We're not gonna play these games. So they hit New Jersey, then they hit the ones who were financing New Jersey, California, Big U and them. That's why WAC 100 was like, Big U and Surf paperwork. Yeah. Surf and Big U paperwork. How about that? How about that? Come on, man. Stop with these games. It is what it is. I don't see what the big deal is about. I can't wait to bring my brother in here, man. I'm bring my brother in here, man. I'm bring my brother in here. Watch when he reads that paperwork. Matter of fact, let me call him. Where's my phone at? Let me call him. Let me call him right quick. I can set this up. Let me call him. Call my brother right quick. Let me set this up right quick. Okay, here we go. Okay, right here. He don't hit me back. But yeah, I'm gonna bring him in and I ain't gonna let him know nothing. I'm gonna read that paperwork. Watch him. Watch what he do. Man, please. Listen, my thing is, hell, it seems like all the rats being exposed. Let them be exposed. Shame, put shame, let it be exposed. Because These people ready to honor him and celebrate him being a real nigga, a stand-up nigga who kept it solid, who kept it gang, who kept it 100, 100. Expose them all. Expose, hey, like the Mad King. Burn them all. Expose it all. Trying to misrepresent these youth, lead them astray, try to make it seem like this the thing to be, this the life to have. Show it all. Show the real truth about this life. Show the real truth about this life. That y'all cross each other, y'all steal from each other, y'all set each other up, y'all snitch on each other, y'all have sex with the homie's woman. Here go my brother right here. And y'all kill each other. Bro, how you feeling? Hey, check this out. I got some paperwork I need you to check out. I got some paperwork I need you to check out.
Oh, okay.
On some I want your opinion on this paperwork. I want your opinion on this paperwork.
All right, I'll be over there.
All right. Yeah. Tell them the real truth. Tell them about how not you, but what really goes on in these gangs and rap groups and cliques and teams, how they jealous of each other. See, the youth need to know the real truth that people hiding from, how they jealous of one another, how they rob one another, how they set one another up, how they have sex with your woman. Look what they did to 6. Remember what they did to 6ix9ine? Talking about we cool, we gang, having sex with his woman, kidnapped them, pistol whipped them. You get what I mean? Tell what these gangs really do. Use you to sacrifice your life, send you off on missions. Tell the truth. Take advantage of the ones who in poverty, because that's what they do. Like when they be doing these things like, oh, I got a little homie that'll do this, I got a little homie that'll do that, making y'all criminals and felons when y'all ain't even got records. When y'all ain't even got records, hurting y'all for the future, inspiring y'all to follow in their footsteps of murder and incarceration. Tell the truth of how they don't really know how to hold water, but always trying to tell y'all to hold it. But they tell on each other. Tell the truth. Expose all of them who was made to be represented as a real nigga. Show how they really be afraid when them cuffs on them and they stand in them courtrooms. Show the real truth. Don't celebrate this madness. Expose it. That's why they all getting exposed. Snitch after snitch after snitch after snitch after snitch. Expose it all. Hell. Y'all youth, stop following these people. Stop honoring these people as your heroes and all them things like that. No. Call it out. Call it out. He snitched, and yes, his testimony was used to apply pressure on the other co-defendant. That's why they all got to taking pleas even more after that. They didn't all take pleas together. We saw the conviction. Surf was convicted first in 2023. Then they got convicted in 2024. I mean, not convicted. They took their pleas in 2024 and 2025. And they used all that information to continue to build on the superseding indictment. So it is what it is. It's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours. Subscribe to Battle Truth. No big deal. We can get back to business, and another rat gonna be exposed, and another snitch gonna be exposed. But Surf definitely, 100%, without a doubt, ratted and snitched. Okay? I was on Byron Blake Live, right? And again, shouts out to him. He did a phenomenal job in breaking down the paperwork, everything. I really liked his breakdown. It was very entertaining, and it was genuine from beginning to end. He did a phenomenal job, okay? Shouts out to Blake on that. But I was on his live a couple days ago, And he was in there arguing with some people, and that's one of the reasons too why I just had to double back on it in support of what he was saying on it, because it was true. And it just, I just felt some type of way when I was on his live with him, and people just kept on trying to make up excuses on Surf. But I already know, again, if Surf was just a regular dude, and if it was somebody else in battle rap who was not as popular, this wouldn't be an argument. This wouldn't even be nothing. This would be complete agreement. The man snitched and told. Simple as that. When you walk in the courtroom and you're there by yourself, none of your co-defendants is there, and you're saying, yes, we did this. Yes, we, who? Us, the Rolling 60s, who? On the indictment. Yes, we a gang. Yes, we committed these crimes. Yes, I acted and did this with them. You snitched. You snitched. Simple as that. And yes, even though he's making a plea, the plea deal cannot be held against him, but it definitely, according to what we just saw right here, is used and can be used against the others. That's the whole purpose of why they wanted it. That's the whole purpose of why we wanted it. To apply the pressures on the others, because they build their careers off convictions. That's how they become mayors and governors and senators and judges. They build their careers off convictions. So of course they need the testimony. Why do you think it's called a testimony? Before the court. His plea leads to his testimony to be shared with others. That's what a testimony is. It's shared with others.
No streets for you, leave me waiting on you. Listen, no streets